Literally.
You gave me the chicken mug?
I did.
I need that right now. Although it doesn't taste very strong. I think I fucked up the coffee. Every time I make the coffee, for some reason, it's not as good as when you make it. I think you're the designated coffee maker.
I'll add to my list of things I'm not going to teach you so that way you can never get rid of me.
Is that what you do?
I mean, with some things, like Catan.
Yeah, that was messed up. You wouldn't even show me how to set up the Catan game because whatever.
Because then you'll be able to play without me.
It's rude. What's up, guys? Welcome to an all-new episode of Unwrapped. We think we have our shit together this week. I'm Daria.
And I'm Toni.
There's so much to talk with you guys about today. I'm excited.
Yep.
First thing I want to bring up is the fact that my wife put me to bed last night at 7 p.m. I understand the early bedtimes. Like, I get it. We have kids. You're up extra early with them, getting them on the bus. We have a lot to do. Like, I get it. But you were like lights out, everyone in bed, shut down the house, turned on the alarm, and it was 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And I had ran to the store, came back, walked upstairs. I'm still like dressed for the day. I haven't showered yet. And you were like lights out in bed, 90 Day Fiance on the TV.
Because yesterday I just had one of those days where, like, as soon as my alarm went off in the morning, I wanted the day over.
You were done with the day before you even woke up.
Yeah. And let's be real, and I'm sure this is something we can even dive more into in the future, but like with a house full of girls, like somebody's always PMSing, and yesterday it was me.
Let me talk about that. There's 4 women in this house.
I'm scared what you're about to say.
You got me going. I talk about this a lot to our friend group.
Yeah.
There's 4 women in this house, okay? And I get it. We're gay. There's stigmas. There's 4 women in one house. And the dogs
A lot of estrogen.
are both females. And the chickens are all females. There's 1 rooster to the 8 chickens. And the ducks are all females. I just realized the ducks are all...
No, there's 2 boys.
There's 2 boys?
Yeah, of course. How are we going to have baby ducks? We have a duck raising farm.
Baby ducks.
Of course.
We're not procreating more ducks. Okay.
Yes, we are. So I don't know if I told you or not, but actually our chicken guy already made a deal with him. And I'm going to hatch all the babies and then he's going to buy them back from us so he can go sell them. But they're very expensive, the breed we got.
This reminds me of Sebastian Maniscalco skit. Like, I got a guy for my chicken guy.
We really
do have a chicken guy, though. I found the chicken guy. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's my best friend. No.
Yeah, they're besties. They talk all the time. He has a lot more than just chickens, and Tony's trying to turn us into chicken guy part 2 over here. We're going to be chicken girls. Anyway, what was I talking about? The estrogen in the house, okay? So not only is every human living in this house a female, but also every animal is also a female except for the 2 male ducks and the 1 rooster. And it's a lot. It's what you think it would be. Somebody is always moody. I'm not saying it's never me, but it's almost never me.
No.
It's this one. It's the little one. The 9-year-old, it's you. The 13-year-old, sometimes she rides with me a lot. We're cool-tempered gals. There's always something. Okay?
Okay, thank you for that. So I was PMSing and I put us to bed at 7 o'clock because I wanted my day of shit, like stuff. I'm saying shit, but I don't mean because it's bad, but I mean like just daily stuff, like
Life.
Vacuuming and yeah, like dogs need to eat. Like I just wanted a day off, I think. So I was beelining it to bed. And it's not because I was tired and I needed to go to sleep. It was because I wanted my brain just shut off. I just wanted to put on 90 Day Fiance. Guys, I don't know what's been happening to me lately, but like 90 Day comes out on Monday for like my ride or died 90 Day. People like when your new episode comes out on Monday, you wait for Monday to watch it. And actually I hated when you would go to work at Raw because I couldn't watch it without her. So I had to wait an extra day. But now, not only we watch it every single night, but it takes us 5 nights to get through 1 episode. I don't even think we finished the episode. Yeah.
We still didn't finish the episode. Actually, I did. You didn't. So now I'm going to have to watch it for a 3rd time. But I'm obsessed with 90 Day, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. But if you would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have told you were crazy. I watched 1 episode one time at a friend's house, Marie and Kevin's actually. And they were like, you got to watch this. And I was like, this is a train wreck. Now, fast forward 5 years, I'm addicted.
Here I am. Yeah, and it's 90 Days the best show because it's like you get so invested and there's always a new season because they have like so many spinoffs now.
Well, that's what's so good. Like you're never like at a loss for content. Like if our 1 season ended and I was like, oh man, that's so sad.
We're like, nope, the next season starts tonight. Actually, 1 out.
You said it and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And felt so weird, but like you get drawn into them and like it's fascinating. Like you have like Gino and Jasmine, who are one of the most fascinating couples to me. Now we're going down 90 Day Fiance rabbit hole, but if you guys watch, you'll appreciate. And if you don't, you need to watch. Yeah. But they've been like together for like 10 years, and I don't think he's had sex with Jasmine for like 3 years, and they talk about it all the time, but they're still together. And
but now she's pregnant.
But now she's pregnant and thought his baby. Right?
Yeah, but then I hear like the weird rumors that like they're actually still together, but they have an open relationship. Because remember they were talking about it. She wanted the open
relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of layers there. I could never do that. Never.
I want to deep dive on this another day, but that's a topic for another day.
But anyway, what were you saying before that?
Went to bed at 7:00, and
I gotta say my side. Okay, you went to bed. You had a rough day. She wanted lights out. Okay, so picture this. I walk in. I'm still dressed in my day clothes. I want to get a shower. I want to relax. I want to get in bed, but it's 7:00. So I'm still working. I'm still doing things on my phone, on my computer. I walk in the bedroom door, and I didn't even say a word, and she goes, "I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. And you're not laying here on your phone, okay? So put it down and come lay down." Just like that. Swear on my life. So I'm like, okay, I would love to do that maybe at like 9, 10 p.m. But my brain is not ready to shut off. I just walked in the door. I was out running errands. Like, I'm still on the go, and it's going to take me a minute to get there. So she started yelling at me. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
So if you guys were wondering who's in control in this relationship, I'm just going to finish with what happened here. And it's that Daria got into bed and watched 90 Day Fiance with me and did not go back on her phone. And then it was 3 hours later and we're like, we can't sleep. I'm like, I can't sleep either.
Well, that is like the definition of Toni. Like, makes an emotional decision, tells me to do something. And then, 3 hours later realizes, oh, maybe that was too early for a bedtime routine. Okay. Also, I went to bed. I put my phone down and I was petrified. We're laughing, but like I'm dead serious about this part. I was petrified to touch my phone. I knew that if she heard a buzz come out of that phone and I reached over as she's laying on my shoulder, done. I would have been done, cut, finito.
Yeah. Well,
you would have killed me. I could already just picture what you would have done. You would, seriously? I'm going downstairs on the couch to finish watching my 90-day episode.
Yeah. Just to give you guys like a little insight, what happens here, Daria works up until the moment she closes her eyes. I do not do that. And I went on this retreat last year and it changed my life. And I came home and now every single day religiously, I do like an hour and a half long bedtime routine for myself. And I take a shower, I light incense in the bathroom, and I play like my spiritual music.
You do that thing.
Sage, but that's not my regular nighttime routine.
She's staging on the regular.
I put my phone away after my shower because I need my music on. But then I get into bed and I don't touch it. And it's like a very like wind down. I like spend a lot of time in the shower where like I actually have like a shower meditation. A lot of times I'll put on and like listen to while I'm in the shower.
Can we talk about the music you play?
It's so good.
Ever since she came back from Ayahuasca, she plays this music. It sounds crazy.
No, it's like so good.
Drums bumping and some weird person singing like, me and the kids call it her music, which is exactly what it is. But it's weird. And listening to it in the middle of the day when like she's cooking and we're all like kind of hanging out in the kitchen, it doesn't set the vibe. Like I want to listen to, what's that Italian like cooking song? You know which one.
Mamma mia, da 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 da
Mamma mia, da da da. Like we're cooking some pasta.
Yeah, I don't know the words.
So that song, like I literally type in like Italian cooking playlist on Spotify. And
I guess you haven't cooked in a really long time because I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Well, when I cook my sauce like twice a year.
Okay.
My gravy with the meatballs. Okay, this is all hypothetical, let's be honest, because I don't cook in this house. I'm not allowed. It's another room in the house that I'm banned from because I don't put things back in the right places and I don't clean the dishes enough before they go in the dishwasher that I just replaced, by the way, because our old dishwasher broke. And then the new dishwasher broke when it came in. Anyway, back to your music. So ever since she came back from Ayahuasca, she's playing the music. And I'm like, I don't know if this part I can get behind. Why don't you tell them what else you do since you came back from Ayahuasca? Because it has a lot of good.
Well, I feel like we need to first tell them, first off, you keep saying ayahuasca, and I feel like half the people listening right now are like, well, what the hell is she even talking about?
I'm sorry. It's my nickname for ayahuasca, the plant medicine derived from bark and tree root.
What?
Am I right?
Yeah.
I've heard
I think it's a vine and root.
A vine and a root.
Yeah.
You mix it together into a black sludge. You put it in a shot glass. You throw it back and you hallucinate. You trip balls. You have life-changing revelations. You speak to Mother Ayahuasca. You go in her office. You have a chat. Not really, but you see that. And you come back a different human.
Yeah. Daria's never done ayahuasca.
I've never done it.
She's just listened to my story, I think, so many times.
So she tells everyone. Tells the mailman. Tells the neighbors. The kids' parents at school, at basketball games. Tells the principal. She told the principal the other day. Just kidding. Yeah, she tells everybody. So I've heard it quite a few times. It is fascinating. And let's be honest. I do want to try it one day. I think I want to try it one day. Go ahead. Yeah. Explain to them what ayahuasca is.
We're going to hijack, I think, the rest of this episode to talk about ayahuasca. Just so that you're forewarned, because we all know once I start talking about it, that's all I want to talk about.
They didn't know that, but now they know that.
Yeah. It was the most life-changing thing I've ever done. I essentially was, and I guess we can explain this more if you want to, but I was called to do it. And they say you have to be like called to Mother Ayahuasca in order to go and do it. And a couple of weird coincidences happened. I literally Googled wellness retreat near me, was thinking I could find something in the woods, like a yoga retreat. Yeah. Something to just feel more like grounded and spiritual. Right. And I've always had this like weird spiritual calling, but never understood what it was. I used to be very, very involved with religion and church. And then that ended up not working out well for me.
Not being your path.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I knew that there was something, and a couple coincidences happened right in a row. Landed me on a trip to Costa Rica for a week alone. First time I've ever done something like jungle. This. I had no idea really what I was signing myself up for, but I was like, this just feels really right for me. And I booked it. I didn't know that much about it. I had no idea what ayahuasca was. I didn't know anything. And the saleswoman that honestly the resort I went to had on the phone, she was not very informative. I don't even think she was there. I think it's like it's
call center.
A call center. Yeah. So I'm like asking her in-depth questions, and she like was saying stuff, but like not answering me. So I had no idea what I was doing. And I did all of this on the phone, called Daria, and I was like, listen, I'm going to this ayahuasca retreat. I'm leaving Saturday and I'm going to be gone for 7 days.
I was like, okay. Now, listen, there's so many different ways for people to dig deeper spiritually, religiously, mentally. And I don't think there's like a one size fits all. I think for some people, it's talk therapy. For some people, it's digging deeper into their religion and their values. Some people, it's spirituality and things like ayahuasca. I was intrigued by it. But when she told me she was going to go stay in the jungle, rainforest, whatever you call it, in Costa Rica for 7 days by herself, I was a little skeptical just because Costa Rica is a great place. We went for our honeymoon. We absolutely love it. But I don't know, it just sounded like intimidating to me. But you were so confident.
Yeah.
And normally you would be like, babe, what do you think? Or like, well, but you felt so connected.
Well, it's only because also like so many things happened that led me there. Like we went to Costa Rica for our honeymoon in February.
Right.
And while we were there, we have good friends that moved down there and lived very, like, right where we were. Mm-hmm. So we went out to dinner with them one night. We're driving through, all these roads going to the next town. We passed this resort, and something was like, oh, Cooper, what is that? Like, what is this place?
Yeah,
It looked intriguing. Yeah. And it's just a resort. And he was like, oh, it's a place you can go do ayahuasca. Oh, cool. Like, okay.
And we both were like, what's ayahuasca?
Yeah, like
we didn't even know anything about it.
Nor were we even interested. No. Really, to even know what it was.
Yeah.
Fast forward like 4 months, 5 months, and I Google wellness retreat near me. The very first thing that pops up on Google, they know.
So weird.
Was this resort called Rhythmia in Costa Rica.
Which was not near you, by the way. So Google.
No, it was not near me.
Yeah.
And I typed in wellness retreat,
which
thinking like a
weirder.
yoga. Yeah. So the whole thing was weird. I only clicked on the link because I recognized the logo. Because it's like a tree of life, if you could picture.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was ayahuasca. It says Rhythmia, a life advancement center is what they call themselves. And I was like, oh, I need life advancement.
What is this?
What is this? Yeah. And I've since found out Rhythmia has 2 websites. They have one that very much talks about plant medicine and what happens there. And then they have a code one, the one I first ended up on, that says it's a life advancement center.
I wonder if that's like legality purposes.
I don't know, but they were the very first resort to be given a medical license for ayahuasca.
Interesting.
And it is the most luxurious that came out weird.
Luxury.
The most luxury resort to do ayahuasca in, which is also crazy because there's so many like luxury amenities there. But you're sitting in a room, they call it a maloka. It's like a spiritual space, like a sacred space where you do like the ceremonies, which is where you would actually do the ayahuasca, and you're there like pretty much all night. And you're in the most luxurious place, but with like top of the line food and like just like the service and like the people that work there, like top of the line. But you're around everyone that's throwing up and crying and laughing and dancing and then like walking like the Walking Dead, holding your puke bucket around and then like seeing things in front of them and other people. So it's like, no matter how like luxury it like is so raw.
It's very grassroots and raw.
Oh my God. Like you're like, wow, we're all the same and we're all connected and we're all like, I don't know. It's the most grounding, like real thing ever.
And I have friends that have done it in different resorts in different places and also love the experience. Also, this is a disclaimer, like do your own research. We're not promoting ayahuasca, just sharing Toni's experience. But I have friends I've told you about that have done it and absolutely fell in love with the process and the medicine.
So I've heard a lot of the stories from your friends because we all, once you do ayahuasca, it's all you want to talk about. And then you get like gravitated towards other people that want to do it. But I still think my experience was the best because listen, we could be here in, Jersey and we can hire a shaman to come over and give us ayahuasca. You can buy ayahuasca on like line, but without all of the other tools, I really don't believe you can get what did they
do there and this is not a paid promotion by any means, by the way.
It's not.
I very much paid full price.
Every dollar to go there.
But what did they do there that you thought helped the process of doing ayahuasca?
So the way it works there is you have to check in on a Saturday or Sunday and you have to stay the full 7 days till the following Saturday or Sunday because you're with the same group through the whole week. And your week is very planned out. So like meal times are at specific times. During the week, you only get breakfast and a small lunch, and then you don't eat the rest of the day because you have a ceremony every night and you have to be fasted for it.
You don't eat the rest of the day?
Mm-mm. You do colonics while you're there. You do because you want to. And you do like, you get massages and there's like the cold plunge and the heat and the steam room and like the mud bath and like all of these
breathwork classes. Did you say that?
So you also do a breathwork class when you get there and a breathwork class when you leave, which I am not a breathwork person by any means. And I'm still really not, but I do understand it now because when you go, the breath work is so intense, you actually hallucinate and see things. My very first night I was there, I did breath work and I saw right at the end of it, me underwater looking at like the world happening around me, but like from a lens of underwater.
Weird.
Yeah, it was so weird. So, but then you actually do ayahuasca Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, every night in a row.
Wow.
So your ceremony will start at like 6. And then the first 3 nights, you're there until about 3 in the morning-ish. And then the 4th night is like the most intense night. It's called like the yahe night, which yahe is a type of ayahuasca, but it's like the strongest. So like the brew gets stronger every night. And then by the 4th night, you're drinking like so every night ayahuasca is black and you get a little shot cup. And when it's time to do it, you go up to the shaman and they fill it up and they bless it and they blow on it and they're like chanting and then you drink it. But by the 4th night, it is so thick. You're like chewing on bark after and you can't drink anything. So you do get to bring a water bottle in. All right. When you walk into the Maloka, it's a whole bunch of mattresses lined up on the floor, but we're at a luxury resort. So they're very nice mattresses with a blanket, a pillow, a bucket, and a roll of toilet paper.
Wait, I need to interrupt you. So break it down. You're in this tent, this Maloka thing, this nice thing. You're drinking this sludge. There's shamans leading you and guiding you. There's helpers walking around in case you get scared or you have a bad trip. You can't really leave unless you have to go to the bathroom or something.
The bathroom's in there.
The bathroom's in there.
Yeah.
But you're throwing up and puking
right next to your
dozens of other people.
And the mattresses are touching. You're right here.
Yeah. So, knowing you, my wife's pretty reserved. How were you okay with watching other people puke and also puking in front of other people? Like, are you in a...
Because you surrender everything. And you have to walk in there and just be like, I literally surrender everything. You go to classes all day long, every single day, where they teach you all different things. Like the first day, you take a class on how to throw up.
What?
So that way you're not in pain.
What does that look like?
like on all fours, you're over the bucket. Like you have to like almost keep your eyes closed and be so deep in it, because they say when you throw up, you're like purging a belief out of your body or a demon in your body or like whatever.
So it doesn't feel like hungover drunk throw up?
No. And it will just hit you and you will sit up and it's like Mother Ayahuasca will start screaming something in your head and you just throw up. And remember, there's nothing in your stomach because you haven't eaten in 12 hours. You can't drink water while you're in there, which is the worst part because you're so dehydrated by this point, and you are allowed to bring a water bottle in, but like you'll go up and take your cup of medicine and it tastes really bad. So you go back to your seat, you open your water bottle, take a little, swish it in your mouth and you spit it into your bucket.
So I'm thinking of this and I heard all of this and I was like, okay, none of this is making me want to go. So what was so life-changing about it for you that made you want to endure something like this again?
Well, I think that I've just always been like so open to
soul searching.
Yeah. To be honest, the only other time I can relate this to is the night I came to meet you.
What?
Where I was just like, I have no expectations. I have no idea wow. I only just realizing that right now. Maybe it's like life-changing things for me. Like maybe it's the only time I listen to my intuition. I don't know. But it's like, I just went with no expectations. I didn't do research in advance. I really didn't know what ayahuasca was. I didn't know what to expect. I knew you threw up only because I listened to Megan Fox's interview about when she did ayahuasca.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. And I just went into it and like fully surrendered to whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm going to leave here better. Even if I don't heal some traumatic thing inside of me, I will leave here better from this experience.
Wow.
And when you're there, they teach you these three. So this is another reason I really like where I went compared to some of the other stories I've heard and ways of people doing it. 2 reasons. The first reason is the first 2 nights I did not feel the medicine at all. So if I would have hired a shaman to come over to our house and do a ceremony for us, and it was my first introduction to a Mother Ayahuasca, you feel her like going through your veins. But she has to like get to know you before she can like really be there. So like most people don't feel it the first time or the second time. So I would have gotten nothing out of it if I only did it one night.
Right.
This place has worked out to a science, like to the T, what you need to get a miracle in at the end of the week. That's their goal. So everyone shows up with like questions. Even I had written down like a couple questions in a notebook of like things I wanted answers to.
Right.
But when you get there, you go to these classes, like I was saying all day, and they ingrain in you these 3 intentions you're going to ask for, and you're going to ask for them in this order. It's show me who I have become, merge me back with my soul at all costs, and heal my heart. And they say when you go into each night, with those 3 intentions, when you ask your first one first, you're like saying your intention into your cup. If Mother Ayahuasca comes and sits down in front of you and says, what do you want to know? It's ingrained in you to ask, show me who I have become.
Right.
And they say when you get through all 3, by the end of the week, you will get through all 3 and you will have like your miracle, and whatever you needed, they say you're going to get what you need, not what you want.
So let me ask you.
Whatever you need the most will be healed.
By the end of the week, did you have the answer to those 3 questions, and did you get your miracle?
Yeah.
Wow. What do you want to talk about what your miracle was?
So this is something that like I have a lot of trauma from my past, and we can get into that maybe another day. It's never something I've spoken about ever,
right?
Except to you in private. But it's traumatic, and this was actually what led me, I guess we can go here, but this is what led me to Google that day, wellness retreat. Yeah. Because I had been going to therapy for a while because I had been through some traumatic experiences that we together felt like I should work through. I felt like I was going to talk therapy every week, talking about it, and I just didn't understand why I was talking about it, because I was like, all right, I'm talking about it, but it's not fixing anything. The memory is still there. What happened to me still happened. So like, what is just talking about it? It's just, like sometimes when you give energy to something, the more energy it has to grow and fester. And I felt like I was giving it too much energy, and I didn't understand why. I
feel like there's it's not one size fits all, like I said before. There's something for everybody. Like for me, and I haven't been through the same experiences you have. Let me preface it with that. But for me, talk therapy has always been great because I'm a talker, I'm a communicator. So for me to sit down and vent it out to somebody and get some advice and feedback, like that's great for me. Toni's personality, you're not that much of a verbal communicator, like we've said. And it's like, that wasn't doing it for you. And your stuff was so deep rooted that it was like, you needed
I didn't know what I was
else.
trying to heal.
But also, you had felt like at that time, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you felt at that time like you weren't fully connected in life.
Yeah.
You felt like a disconnect. Like your feet.
I would say I like felt like a bystander to my own life. Like I felt like a supporting actress in my
literally.
Yeah. I wasn't like depressed or having like it was very much like I just felt like I was living to kind of go through a to-do list, and it doesn't mean I'm unhappy. I'm very happy, but I still didn't feel like I was just as present as I could be.
Yes.
Yeah. To myself, like connected to myself.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I didn't know what answer I was looking for. And I just felt like, yes, these traumatic things have happened, but like I didn't know much more than like I didn't know what answers I was looking for in the first place. So with that being said, after I asked my 3 intentions, and these happened over the course of 2 nights, really the 4th night, actually there's like a documentary on Fubo called The Medicine. And it's all about this shaman named Taita, who's like famous in this world. And he's from like the indigenous people in Colombia.
Right.
And he was my shaman on that Thursday night. And he doesn't live at Rhythmia. He travels. And he also has his own retreat in Colombia. But he's like a traveling guy that like makes appearances. And I just so happened to have him the week I was there. He's not there all the time by any means. So I was like, I think really, I had like an amazing experience with him. And I don't know how much time we have, but like that's something I could like talk about that night. Like it was.
We're definitely gonna have to do a part 2 with the ayahuasca if you guys want to hear more. But I want to talk about your miracle, and then I want to talk about the cult.
You throw up constantly, but there were 2 times when I threw up where it was like literally like Mother Ayahuasca. I'm sure other things came out. So what they say is when you actually throw up, you're purging, and you're purging beliefs or things like that are inside of you that you have to get rid of. So the first one was on the 2nd night, and it was just screaming self-hate at me, which is not something at all that I went in there feeling like at all. Like, but I did tear like looking back in hindsight, I definitely had a lot of self-hate things around, you like look in the mirror and what do you say to yourself? Are you talking nice to yourself? Do you love yourself, or are you not? Are you picking yourself apart? Like I definitely had a lot of self-hate there. That was the first thing. But then the 4th night when I really had like my big miracle night, when I got like my second 2 intentions answered and plus like 10,000 other things. Like I literally, I know it didn't really happen, but to me it really happened. Mother Ayahuasca brought me in her office. She was sitting behind her desk and said, all right, I gave you your intentions. What else do you want to know? And I was like, am I supposed to have more kids? Am I supposed to keep competing? And I'm screaming at him.
Tell them what they said about the kids. We'll give you guys a little tea.
All right, a little tea.
Toni and I, we'll get deeper into this in another episode, but Toni and I have been talking about whether or not have more kids.
Now, this is after all of like the meat, like the real stuff I needed was gone. And now I'm in this blissful state where you're looking around and everything is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And then they teach you do the work when your eyes are closed. You can see really cool stuff when your eyes are open because it is a psychedelic, but when you close your eyes is when you're actually doing the work. So I'm like looking around, everything's beautiful. And I'm like, no, Toni, we have more work to do. So I close my eyes and she literally walks me into her office and she's like, I gave you your intentions, Toni. What else do you want to know? And I said, am I supposed to have more kids? And she doesn't say anything. It just flashed back. It's a scene. I'm sitting in our bedroom. You're in the bed with me and we're laughing because there's a toddler bed with a 2.5-year-old little girl on it playing. And we're laughing like, oh my God, you have to clean out that dressing room now. She's too big to be sleeping in our room because our extra bedroom up on the floor where we sleep has been turned into Daria's dressing room. So we laughed that if we have another baby, she would have to find somewhere else to put all her clothes. So we were laughing and it just jumps to that scene. Then it jumps to another scene of us standing in line at a movie theater. The little girl comes right up to me now. She's a little bit older and I'm talking to her and she comes up and she's smiling, looking at me and she's like, hi, Mom. And I'm like, hello. I'm like, what's your name? Because now I want to know everything. And she just smiles and goes, I don't know. And then behind her are 2 little boys that I just knew in that moment, because I'm like fast forwarding in life, that we adopted the 2 boys. Yeah.
Mind blown crazy. She comes home and tells me this.
Well, I actually sent you a voice note the next. So
you did.
Yahe night, you're actually there until the sun comes up. And this is not sleeping time. This is like very proactive, continuing to drink medicine, throwing up again, seeing more stuff, all these things happening, right? Now it's like 8:30 in the morning and I'm walking back to my hut that I sleep in. I don't know what you call it. And I text you.
She texts me a voice note.
And I said, I'm sending you, I sounded all funny.
She texts me a voice note and she's telling me that she just had this vision of these children. And I'm like, what? Like,
But I sent you a voice note because I wanted you to have it forever. I said in that message.
Yeah, you wanted me to keep it forever.
Yeah.
Crazy. I definitely think we need to do a part 2 because I wanted to talk all about how I thought Toni was in a cult, but we're going to have to save that for next time.
Okay, fine.
Because our episode's getting a little heavy. But Toni has a fun game for me where I'm going to have to put this terrible sour candy in my mouth again. And she's going to ask me some rapid fire questions. What do you got for me, babe?
Oh, boy. Okay, wait. I got to get my
Your
phone.
phone fell. Hand me my death wish. Are you ready? Because the second I put this in, you need to start asking. Okay.
So you know how it's going to work? I'm going to say she's a 10 but, and then give you something, and then you're going to re-rate her.
Okay. Also, guys, before we jump into the game, make sure you check out our Patreon account because as I'm thinking about this, I'm like, let's do a deeper dive on Patreon, all about the cult, the following, ayahuasca, and all the details. But we do have another new episode up there. So if you guys want to subscribe and support us on this journey, we would greatly appreciate it. Now I'm going to go die via sour candy. You ready?
Yep. She's a 10, but her house is a mess.
3. Gotta go.
She's a 10, but she farts in bed.
Yeah.
She's a 10, but she follows sexual Instagram models. A 0? She's a 10, but she doesn't wear deodorant. A 2? I don't wear deodorant most days. Am I still hot? She's a 10, but she runs up the stairs on all fours. 0? I'm gonna do it later. I bet I could change your mind. She's a 10, but she uses goggles in the pool. A 5? She's a 10, but she prefers to be called daddy. No? You want to be daddy? She's a 10, but she likes only expensive gifts. You keep her? Yeah, you would. What? I don't like expensive gifts. No! That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I spit it in your coffee because I knew you'd almost be done. Whereas I'm nursing mine over here.
How about you spit it in your coffee because you know I'm still drinking mine?
No, I knew you'd be done. Oh my God, that was disgusting. Guys, I do this literally only for you. Thank you for another amazing... I can't even speak.
And if you want to hear more about ayahuasca, please leave it in the comments because my wife is so over me talking about it, but I love talking about it, so I would love to share more.
Also, comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you guys want to hear next. Ask questions because we will be using those comment questions for our next episode. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Unwrapped. I'm Daria.
And I'm Toni. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.